Next fight, welterweight bout that I'm super excited for. Sean Brady fighting out of Philadelphia against Michael Chiesa. Two great grapplers, right? You look at Michael Chiesa. Michael Chiesa is a guy, man, who is an incredibly gifted grappler. But again, kind of like we were talking about in the last fight, particularly when he gets on top. He's a better wrestler, and he can find submissions from the top position. But if you look at his most recent fight against Vicente Luque, got kicked in the leg, and you could tell it bothered him. Immediately shoots a takedown, gets it all great, right? Controlling Vicente Luque, takes his back. But when he gets into these jiu-jitsu situations, he makes crucial mistakes, right? That lead to him losing control, and he's also susceptible to getting submitted, right? Anthony Pettis tapped him out. Kevin Lee tapped him out. Vicente Luque tapped him out. So despite the fact that he's a very good wrestler and a very good grappler, he has holes in his games where if he gets into he's very good on top, right? Like I said, but when he gets into situations where he has to try a submission on a guy, like he submitted Carlos Condit, but that was from the top position. When he's on a guy's back, he's going to make mistakes. And when you look at Sean Brady, guys, Sean Brady is a bad motherfucker. Like if you break down his technique and just look at his technique, he's never sacrificing control. He is always controlling. He's always accounting for all the little details before he advances into the next position. He doesn't go for these like fucking bullshit submissions, right? He sets everything up beforehand. He accounts for everything. His level of control on the ground is excellent. And I think his hands are going to be a little bit better than Michael Chiesa's, right? I think there's some work to do in that department, but in particular, he has a very strong left hook. And he's just going to be better on the feet, I think. And I think that even if Chiesa gets a guy like Brady on top, there are levels to jiu-jitsu, guys, right? Like Jake Matthews is a black belt. When Sean Brady got him to the ground, he dominated him. It wasn't even really close. Like Jake Matthews couldn't even offer up any sort of offense. And you can tell that Brady's dense, he's big, he's strong. If he gets on top of you, he's not willingly just going to let you back up. Like you're going to have to really work to get back up. And when you see someone like Jake Matthews, who's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, get put on his back and can't do anything, you know that the motherfucker controlling him is legit. Sean Brady is very legit. He's got nasty submission setups from almost everywhere. And when he gets on top, you're probably not getting back up, right? And, like I said, I think the fact that he is a better striker than Chiesa is probably going to force shots out of Chiesa. And when they get into grappling exchanges, I just think Brady's better there. I think that if Chiesa takes him down, Brady's going to be able to take advantage of the fact that Chiesa's control sometimes is lacking. He allows a lot of scrambling to take place. I just think that Brady is going to always be able to win the grappling transitions and once again get up on top where it's important. And once he gets on top of Chiesa, I think you'll notice that Brady does a much better job of controlling those situations than Chiesa did when he was on top of him. Sean Brady's a bad motherfucker, man. 14-0. Minus 165 favorite in this fight, and I'm taking him in this one. I think he taps Chiesa out in the third round. I think it's going to take a while to get Chiesa there. Chiesa's going to be very well prepared. And it might take, whether it's stuffing takedowns or whether it's landing a shot on Chiesa, whatever it is, I just think that eventually this fight, just by the nature of these two, ends up on the ground at some point. And when it gets there, if Brady's on bottom, he's going to be able to reverse and get on top more easily than Chiesa will. And if Brady's on top, I don't think Chiesa's getting out from underneath him, man. Maybe in a couple scrambles, like maybe once or twice, but over the course of the fight, I think this is a difficult fight for Michael Chiesa, right? He's going up against a very strong grappler. And like I said, a guy who is a bad mother. His level of control and shit, man, you know what I mean? But I just think Sean Brady's too much for him on the ground. I really think that. I think that there are guys that when you look at their technique, you go, oh, fucking Sean Brady's one of those guys. So I got Sean Brady, third round submission of some sort, right? Maybe an arm triangle, something similar to that, something from the top position. I think Brady also is one of those guys who realizes in a fight how important it is to get. You saw in the Jake Matthews fight, he got dropped and immediately, like Matthews got on top of him, he immediately reversed position and got on top. He's a guy who understands the importance of being on top too. So both of these guys do. I just think Brady will be better at getting there.